Hello everybody. We have hit a milestone that we're very proud of, and as part of it we're going to launch a new product. Well, I'll let you know about a new product. It's been around for a little bit because we've been testing it, but our milestone is, drum roll,
we've now sold more than 1,000 DC hubs over the last year. So the DC hub is becoming bigger and bigger. Industry is recognizing the DC hubs. There's companies starting to use the DC hubs to standardize their fleets now. But the 12-volt industry has changed in the meantime as well. When we first invented the DC hub about 5 years ago, a 50 amp DC-DC charger was huge. That was massive. Now, it's not uncommon that people use 2 DC-DC chargers, or they use a 100 amp DC-DC charger. So we've reacted and we've created a new product.
I'm Andrew St Pierre White, explorer, overlander and broadcaster with over 40 years driving 4x4s in association with Egon, game-changing simplicity. So we have in our archives the very first DC hub we produced. Longest path from the charge device. Voltage at the inverter 12.5. So again, it's the wire that is cooking, not the board. We tested it, we even set fire to it. And you know, what we've learnt is, as much as we test a product, no testing is quite as good as when the product is out there and people are using it.
Absolutely.
And because we're a small organization and we make these in batches of hundreds, not thousands at a time, we can very quickly adapt. And version 2.1 of the DC hub, which is the 1224 volt DC hub, we've made 2 major changes and not a single comeback.
Yeah, ever since we've done those changes, the 2.1 version has been flawless for the last 2 years. So we're very sure now that we've nailed the concept, and directly from that concept we've made what we call a DC hub dual. So that means you've got one
there. We're just finishing testing. We've completed the testing and we can announce it for sale.
It is slightly bigger than your DC hub 2.1, but it can also do more. So this unit works exactly the same way as your DC hub 2.1 does. Means you've got a connection here for your house battery, lithium battery, whatever that might be, with an external 150 amp fuse and an external shunt or inbuilt shunt into the BMS. And then you've got, not on this side anymore, but up the top here, you have got 2 start battery inputs, which means you can run them from the same start battery, or you can run them from 2 different start batteries. In case, let's say you've got a boat and you've got 2 motors with 2 alternators, you can feed the DC hub individually from 2 start batteries, because this unit is capable of having 2 DC-DC chargers connected to it. So on this side, you now got space for DC-DC charger 1 and DC-DC charger 2 with their own dedicated solar inputs as well. So that means you can use, for example, a Manager Alpha 100, which can put 100 amp charge into this unit, and you just split the outputs over the 2 DC-DC chargers. Or you use 2 DC-DC chargers, and it doesn't matter if it's a Red Arc product, if it's an Enerdrive product, a Projector product, or whatever else you find out there, Victron. It's compatible with all these different devices that are out there and connects all of these devices together. As soon as you got your DC-DC chargers connected, your solar connected, your start battery or batteries connected, and your house battery connected, all your ground circuits are connected at the same time as well. And your charging system will start to function automatically. And then you can connect 10 25 amp loads to your house battery through these connectors. You can connect 2 40 amp loads or intermittent up to 80 amp loads, also directly connected to your house battery, and 1 80 amp load right here. And this takes care of the whole power distribution for your system. And on top of that, it's got inbuilt diagnostics with LEDs. put a fuse in, like this, and you'll find the LED turns off. The LED is an indication for a blown fuse. So should this fuse blow, your LED light will come back on to indicate that there's a problem with the fault. So this is not an electronics device. The most electronic thing on there is the LED, but it helps the operator out in the field to do fault finding in a very simple way. Is there a light on? Look there, I take a spare fuse, I exchange it. You also got access to all your different circuits with the multimeter. You just have to take the cover off, and on these screw terminals here, you've got direct access to the circuits, which is another cool thing, another cool feature of a DC hub. All you need to do to connect cables to it is take the insulation off, put the cable into the connector, screw the connector tight, put a cable tie onto this bracket for pull relief, and you're done. And these act exactly the same way as Crimswood. It's a very high quality connection where you don't have to worry about. They can be torqued up to a certain torque spec, and you will not have a problem with these. We still recommend when you service your car, you tighten the connectors at the same time, but only if you do high vibration applications. And we're quite proud of this. This will enable people to build very high current charging systems up to 100 amps, and all they need is screwdrivers, side cutters, and that's basically it.
And we're also, the whole idea of Egon was to help people do DIY. In other words, remove the potentially very challenging job of installing an electrical system in a caravan, camper, trailer, whatever, okay, and enable ordinary folks without training to do it. That's why it's so simple as it is. But on top of that, our website, instructional videos, there are QR codes on the packaging where you go click, you'll see videos, masses of circuit ideas, circuit diagrams, lots and lots of help. Our idea, and it's working. People with no skills at all are building amazing electrical installations because of that thing, because it's taking away the need for expertise.
It does.
And with the help we're giving them on the website and on the YouTube channel, how many times does somebody call and say, I'm having a problem? How many? Because you field yourself all of those support queries. How many do we get on average a week for?
I need help with this. Very little. There's very little help.
Give me a number.
We get not even one. Not even one. But we get at least one email a week that says, thank you so much for this product. Yeah. It's been a revelation. I've installed 12-volt systems for a very long time. I've used this for the first time. I do feel the need to send you a message to say thank you. It's revolutionized the way that our workshop works. Yeah. There's a lot of workshops out there getting onto this, and they're realizing that staff shortage, skilled staff shortage, is not such an issue anymore, because people can be trained within a few days to use this and build amazing 12-volt systems. It is not hard anymore. Before that, it took people years, and I know that from experience in my workshop. I trained people. It took them years to build great layouts and make everything work in a way that people can still figure out later on what was happening. With this, we are standardizing 12-volt installations, and companies are loving it. Especially fleet companies are jumping on board and say, like, we can finally have our vehicles all laid out exactly the same way. Driver A can drive in car B and vice versa. They don't have to know their vehicle anymore because they know the DC hub wiring system. It's a game changer.
It is a game changer. That's why I call it game-changing simplicity, because it is changing games. So we're quite chuffed with the fact that we've sold our thousandth unit, and now we're doing the same because we feel very comfortable with what we've achieved in 12-24 volts. But now our next challenge is 48 volts. Hence this van that we've just driven from Perth all the way as our first test bed. It's not a product that is installed in here, it's the wiring concept.
Yes.
And we're building a product called the Egon 48 volt hub. It's in a while we'll announce that. We're not ready yet, we're quite far off it, but we know what it needs to do and what it'll look like We will then build it and then test it like we did with that. A lot of testing.
Exactly, a lot of testing.
And the whole idea of that is so that if you want to build a 48-volt system and you are, and this is very upmost in the industry right now. How on earth do we make 48 volts works? Because anybody who understands 48 volts understands the benefits. How the hell do we make it work? It's not simple. The idea of the Egon 48 volt hub is like this. You plug that in there, 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 and it will work.
That's the whole idea.
That is the idea.
We built a whole architecture around it, and with the DC hub we went to a certain extent. The 48 volt hub will go further. It will integrate the 48 volt into the vehicle electrics. We will not just make a product, we will also create a concept around it that will integrate into the vehicle electrics in a way that has not been done yet. And it will revolutionize the way you can use accessories on vehicles. I don't want to go into too much detail because there's still R&D to be done, and we also don't want to give away too much while we're still in the process, but it will be different from anything that exists right now.
And we are so excited about it because all of this is all happening at the same time, and we have successfully driven this vehicle and done the preliminary testing on the concepts, and it is working better than I thought it would. Honestly, it is. And the side advantages, additional advantages that we hadn't really, we knew what we were going for, and it was kind of, hang on a minute, it also does this and that. Redundancy system. Things
just started to fall into place, and we realized things that we didn't even think about before. That's why this field testing that we do here at Egon is so important. It's so important to do that.
And nobody else is doing the 48 volt system like this that we know of anywhere in the world is producing the product we're about to produce. And in fact, nobody in the whole world builds something that can do what that can. Nobody. Anywhere.
And we've made it even better now. Because we've also created a sticker. Because a lot of you guys said like, hey, it would be great to have something where we can actually write down the fuse layout. So all the DC hub products, the 2.1 and also the dual, they come with a sticker now. It's a high quality vinyl sticker.
You know something though, we should have done that early on.
We should have, right? But you know, we didn't think of it.
We didn't until you guys said, hey, why haven't you done this? And it's a no-brainer. Why haven't we done it?
Yeah, I know. So thanks for the feedback.
Yeah.
This sticker is now part of it. It's labeled F1 to F15 for this. You can put it right next to your DC hub, inside the glove box, wherever you want to keep it, and you can write down all the circuits. This is now part of all the DC hub products.
No extra charge.
Or
you can download it from the website as well. There's a little PDF and print it yourself. Print as many as you like. It's working. And thank you for all those people that have fitted the DC hub and the water hub too. We won't talk about that now. Same thing, but with water. Thank you for your input. Thank you for your confidence in the product. And thank you for your feedback. It's really valuable.
It is.
It is.
And
Absolutely.
you buying these products enables us to make more great products that enables the community to build better systems.
Yeah.
Thank you for your support.
Okay. Until next time, everybody. Everything we do will end up on the Egon YouTube channel in videos like this. So subscribe and tell YouTube you're interested. Till next time. My Land Cruiser is equipped with 3 Egon products, both improving its simplicity. It sped up the build time, and it made it very easy for me to create this an incredible rig. And I'm going to highlight one of them right now, the DC hub. It's one place where all of the chargers are connected, all of the batteries are connected. There is no need for a bus bar, no need for lugs and heat shrink. In other words, the installation takes up a fraction of the space than it would in a conventional wiring system. And it was incredibly easy to do. It's like paint by numbers. You just plug in the wires where the instruction says, and it's done. All of the chargers into the DC hub, all of the batteries into the DC hub, all of the accessories, the fridge, the lights, into the DC hub. Everything works. It's absolutely revolutionary. And if you are building a rig, you have got to see how easy the Egon DC hub makes building a 4x4, a camper or a caravan.